The Cathari dreadnought Eclipse of Sorrow hung in the debris-strewn void like a vulture over carrion. Its obsidian hull pulsed with bioluminescent veins, feeding on the terror of the last surviving colony ship of the Varelian Concord, a gentle, philosophical species whose greatest weapon was diplomacy. Now their ship, the Whisper of Dawn, drifted helplessly, shields shattered, engines cold, its hull groaning under the strain of repeated plasma barrages. On the bridge, Elder Malus clutched the ceremonial stone of unity, her 4 eyes dim with resignation. "No one answers our distress calls," she whispered, her voice trembling through the ship's failing comms. "The Galactic Accord has abandoned us. The Cathari will consume our minds, erase our history, and no one will remember we ever existed." The Cathari did not kill. They harvested. Their neural parasites rewrote the consciousness of conquered species into obedient nodes in their hive mind. A fate worse than death for the Varelians, who valued individual thought above all. Aboard the Eclipse, overmind Vrax watched through 1,000 eyes as his boarding pods latched onto the Whisper. "Resistance is entropy," he intoned. "Surrender is order." He had heard tales of humans, primitive, chaotic, violent mammals from the Sol system, but dismissed them as myths. Their single battered embassy on the galactic fringe had been silent for cycles. No fleet, no allies. No hope. Then, the void screamed. It began as a distortion in subspace, a harmonic shriek that shattered sensor arrays across both ships. Alarms blared in guttural panic tones. Stars flickered. Reality itself seemed to tear open. From the rip emerged a vessel unlike anything the Cathari had ever seen. It was not sleek, not elegant, not bioorganic or crystalline like the ships of the Accord. It was brutal. Angular, forged from scarred durasteel and scorched titanium, bristling with weapon mounts that glowed like molten eyes. Its hull bore the scars of 100 battles, patched, welded, and painted over with defiant symbols. A skull, a flag, a snarling wolf. At its prow, in bold, blocky letters scorched by plasma fire, read, "UNSC Relentless," and it howled, not metaphorically. The ship emitted a deafening, modulated sonic pulse. A war cry broadcast across every frequency, every comm channel, every neural implant within range. It was a sound of pure, unfiltered rage. Distorted bagpipes, roaring engines, and a human voice screaming, "For Earth!" The Cathari recoiled. Their hive mind shuddered. Such noise, such emotion, was anathema to their ordered existence. Before Vrax could issue a command, the Relentless fired, not with plasma, not with beams, with rods. Tungsten slugs accelerated to relativistic speeds tore through the void like divine judgment. One struck the Eclipse's primary spine, punching clean through 3 decks and detonating its biocore in a geyser of violet ichor. Secondary explosions rippled across the dreadnought's surface. "Impossible!" Vrax shrieked. "Their weapons lack finesse. They are inefficient. Barbaric." "Barbaric?" came a new voice, crackling, calm, and laced with steel, over the open channel. "You're damn right we are." On the Whisper of Dawn, Elder Malus stared at the viewscreen in awe. The human warship pivoted with terrifying agility, its thrusters flaring like dragonfire. Missile pods bloomed open, unleashing a storm of fire that turned the Cathari swarm ships into glittering clouds of vapor. Aboard the Relentless, Captain Elias Vance stood on his bridge, jaw set, eyes locked on the carnage. His uniform was stained, his face lined with the weight of 1,000 losses, but his voice never wavered. "Comms, patch me through to the survivors." Moments later, Malus heard the human's voice, rough, warm, and utterly human. "This is Captain Vance of the United Nations Space Command. You're not alone anymore. Hold tight. We've got you." The Cathari, for the first time in millennia, felt fear. They launched their elite reavers, biomechanical horrors designed to tear through hulls and minds alike. But the humans met them not with shields or diplomacy, but with boarding parties. Marines in powered armor, faces hidden behind snarling helmets, stormed the Eclipse through ruptured bulkheads. They moved like ghosts, silent, lethal, relentless. Where the Cathari relied on numbers and hive coordination, the humans fought with terrifying individuality. One Marine laid down suppressing fire, while another planted shaped charges. A third hacked into enemy systems with a jury-rigged datapad and a grin. They didn't just fight. They adapted. They turned the Cathari's own biotech against them. overloading neural conduits with feedback loops of static and heavy metal music. Within 20 minutes, the Eclipse of Sorrow was silent. Captain Vance himself stepped onto the bridge of the Whisper of Dawn, removing his helmet. His eyes were tired but kind. "You're safe now," he said simply. Malus, trembling, bowed low. Why did you come? We are nothing to you. We have no alliance, no trade, no value." Vance looked out at the stars where the Relentless hung like a guardian wolf. "Because someone was hurting you," he said. "And because no one else would." He turned back, a faint smile touching his lips. "Humans don't always do things the smart way, or the efficient way. But when someone's getting stomped on, we show up, loud, angry, and ready to break some teeth." As the Relentless escorted the battered Whisper toward the nearest human outpost, the Varelians broadcast a new message across the galaxy, one not of despair, but of wonder. "Beware the quiet corners of the galaxy," Malus declared, "for when the darkness comes, do not lose hope. Listen for the howl in the void. That is the sound of humanity arriving." And far away in the Sol system, another dozen warships powered up their drives, just in case. Because humans, they always bring backup.